Thank you for all the comments. I just thought I find it, I do type replies, but it's sometimes maybe easier just to talk, with eyesight issues and stuff. And I have found a piano which I've balanced this thing on, so it's a piano. Steinway piano. Anyway, so I really appreciate everyone's response to my original video and the other things. Really cool, and it's a good discussion. I think the debate seems to center around whether or not chemotherapy and stem cell treatment should be used at all, and then it's obviously the debate to whether it's more relevant for people with relapsing remitting MS. Obviously, I think the conclusion is for most other people it's pretty hit and miss, but who knows. As to the statistics of 70 to 80% of people with relapsing remitting MS who do go through chemotherapy and stem cell transplant, 80% proved to have a successful outcome for up to 5 years, or over 5 years, I don't know. I don't know about that one, because that's the point for my point originally, is about the logic of it. If you see it's relapsing, remitting, maybe of those people, they would have had a remission period anyway. Like, that's the nature of it. That's what I experienced, where you had full-blown symptoms and then it just went away for 5 years or 6 years, and then it came back, and then it went away again for like 5 years. It's just the nature of MS is very confusing to all involved. So focusing on relapsing remitting MS with this very drastic treatment of chemotherapy seems to me, that's what I'm saying. I just feel logically that it doesn't seem right, because when people are relapsing remitting, and it's so so unknown or uncertain as to when they would have a relapse, when they would have a remission period, it's a bit of a roller coaster ride. So by maybe this forced reboot, it does make them go into a period of remission. But, would that have happened anyway or not? I don't know. That's my point, really. And I just feel that chemotherapy is such a drastic treatment, because where I'm doing my treatment, the majority of patients have leukemia, and they choose not to have chemotherapy, because it is, it's about quality of life, I suppose, at that point. What else am I going to say at this point? I do actually believe stem cells is the great hope for people with MS at some point in the future. As I say, it's just not yet. The stem cells basically. So I talk to people who are developing drugs in this field. Like one of my closest friends from university works for, I can't say the drug company name, but a very serious, one of the big three, say, drug makers, and he works in this field of autoimmune disease and things like arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, and cancer and stuff. I always try to get all my information about what's going on in the drug development field from him, and he basically says, they know that stem cells is a good option, like fresh stem cells, like they grow them now, I think, in little test tubes, I suppose. This is the simplest way of thinking of it. They're not harvesting them from babies. But they have stem cells. The reason stem cell research is not as developed as it should have been was because of, I think in the Reagan era, they had a huge prohibitionist from the religious evangelical opposition to stem cell research. And then, well, it was Ronald Reagan, didn't he? Have Alzheimer's, and his wife made a huge push to get that taken off the books and allow stem cell research. But it's just been hampered for such a long time, so it's a bit of a late starter. But it will be, in the future, it's very likely to provide the best option for somebody with something like MS. And other people too. I think when they figure out stem cells, people will be living 100 years longer. They'll be able to program your body in all sorts of different ways. It won't just be for MS. That'll just be pretty much a side effect of what they're doing. But again, it will be one of those. It will be a treatment only available to the rich and famous sort of thing, or people in the developed world, I suppose, who have options. I don't think it's something the majority of humanity will have access to. We'll just have to look at that. But yes, I believe stem cells will, in the future, provide an answer. So you just have to hang in there. And so my theory is just chill out, and then, finally they'll something will appear, and then we can, if we're still here, we can try it. I just think chemo, that's a bit of a, like you said, Russian roulette. One of the chaps said it's a Russian roulette option. It's kind of, I don't know. Anyway, I would try to just my opinion, obviously, I would say save them money, go on holiday instead or something. Go on a detox in Thailand. I think it's too drastic, and because you get sold hope all the time. Like when you get diagnosed with MS, you kind of freak out. It's a science fiction disease. There's all this weird stuff going on with your body and your mind and everything. You just have to learn to cope with that. It's not easy. And then at the same time, you're desperately trying to find a way out of it. And I mean, it's a bit of a rabbit hole. You end up with all sorts of weird things coming at you. And you get so many people giving you advice. I had such weird advice. I even got told once someone gave me a phone number of a woman, and they said she was a friend of aliens, and if I called her, she could cure me over the phone. It was so weird. You couldn't make that up. And I didn't call, obviously. I once had a living Buddha, a friend of mine, obviously a lot of Buddhists, as my China connection, and I met with a living Buddha, and he did something very strange. He used like a eagle feather or something over my eyes and did some weird chanting. Anyway, sadly it didn't cure me. But I was very touched by the living Buddha trying to cure me. And we did things like throw fish in the river, which is another Buddhist thing. You sort of save the lives of... you go around the markets and buy all the fish that were for sale to be eaten, but they're still alive. That's something in Asia. They tend to keep the fish alive until the last minute. So we buy all the fish, like truckloads of things, and then put them all back into the sea. Sort of a karma thing, I think. Anyway, all this kind of thing. I don't know. I really just feel that the reason I put it out there is just because I feel this chemo thing, not stem cells in the future, but your own stem cells. I don't know about that. I mean, I don't know what good that does. I'm not that much of an expert, but like the stem cells, the basic building blocks. The stem cell is like a blank. Anyway, okay. Oh, my phone's running out of power. So I will now end this, but I would say thank you very much everyone for all the comments. It was lovely, and I'm in Canada at the moment. Alright, anyway, best wishes. Sorry, I don't play piano. Right, okay. Sorry, I added, because of my ugly mug, I thought you could see some of my drawings while I was in China instead. It's better than my ugly mug. Alright.